Hello guys, finally got a microphone so you'll be able to hear me properly. I don't know how this is going to come out, so those of you who've been begging me to get a microphone will say, yeah, finally I can hear him on stereo, on steroids, Jera on steroids, Jera on crack. So I'm wearing this because I'm in the conservatory and it's still a bit cold. So my life at the moment is a bit up and down. I don't know where to start. Let me see. I'm concerned about my friend. She's concerned because she's taken the chemo medicine and I'm not sure if it's damaged her, or maybe the radiotherapy. So I want to focus on her, get her back onto my crazy program, juicing, coffee enemas, meditation, a little bit of exercise if she can handle it, like hypnotherapy, auto-suggestion, affirmations, things like that. And what else? Supplements. And, cooked food as well, eating well, and avoiding a lot of stuff. Avoiding stress. Anyway, I've got that to think about. But also, I'm reducing my medication. I'm down to about, how much is it now? 1.6 maybe. I don't know, but it's getting low. I'll be probably on 1 milligram soon, or Seroxat, or Paxil it's called in the States. And I've never been this low. In the last few years, I've only managed to get down to 2.5, and I went berserk. I was stressed out, I was shouting, I was, smashing things, because it just got to me. But this time, I'm reducing slowly. What I do is I get a tablet of 20 milligrams, and there's a slit in the middle, so you can break it into 10 milligrams, but you can't break it any further. They were really clever. So what I do is I get a nail file and I shave. I started shaving like 8 shavings, and then I waited a week, and then I shaved 12 shavings, and the next week 15 shavings. So every week I shave a little bit off, and that seems to have worked. Like the first time I shaved off some of the drug, I did feel bad after about 4 days. But since then, not so bad. So, fingers crossed that I won't get another, drop where, brain chemistry suddenly changes and you really, really, really feel it. You feel it's horrible. It's horrible, really horrible. I do get that sometimes itchy, like hives. That's histamine, probably, because SSRIs do control histamine as well. So maybe this is why I've got histamine problems, because I'm on such a low dose of Seroxat. And now it's winter time, so it's really difficult it should be difficult to come off, but there's never, as I explained before, there's never a good time. My auntie passed away, and there's always something that's going to happen. There's always something that's going to happen. Oi, you guys stop it. There's always something that's going to happen that is going to throw a spanner in the works, a monkey wrench or whatever. So, and the way I see it is, yes, it's winter and it's going to get darker and darker and darker. But just around the corner, on the 21st of December, within a few weeks, the days are going to start getting brighter So you're going to have more and more daylight hours. So that's a good thing. That's the way I see it. That's the way my friend said it. And yes, I see it that way as well. So the way I see it, by the time I've come off completely, will be after Christmas. And spring, I would, you'd be into the part of the year that becomes more and more yang, more and more brighter. So everything is rising instead of everything going down. I know the negative part of me says, yeah, but after summer it's going to be dark and it's going to go down. Well, that's the ebb and flow of the seasons. It gets darker and it gets brighter. So now I'm coming off now it's the end of yin almost and the beginning of yang. So Christmas time roughly is not the winter solstice where the sun is born, around about 24th. And as you guys know, Christmas time isn't when Jesus was born. If you think about it, like Jesus in the story, the shepherds watch their flocks by night, and I think that could refer to lambs being born and the shepherds having to protect the lambs, and so that would be in the springtime, or at the very least, spring or summer. So Jesus was not born on the 24th. What was born on the 24th was the sun. And so we're worshipping a sun god, if you will. I'm not saying that's what Jesus is, but I think the early Christians wanted to make Christianity popular, and so they used the pagan or the religions of the time and superimposed their idea of Christianity. So Easter is probably also another, not equinox, or another period where the sun goes down, a period where it dies or it's born or whatever. And so, anyway, forget about that. Going back to how I'm feeling at the moment. I'm trying to make videos, and recently I've been making videos about playing with toys. And, some people say, I know one person said, because of what's been going on, I realize why you're making these videos. Actually, no, I was going to make those videos anyway, I think. I was interested in doing that anyway. But also doing something so bonkers helps me to take my mind off... well, no, that's not true, actually, because when that dip comes, no matter what you're doing, you will feel it. So something else is going on. Maybe I'm really busy. I'm doing lots of things. I'm less anxious. I don't know. Maybe God is helping me. That could be happening. I don't know. But making those videos, those playing with toys videos, it helps me. But I think I want to help other people as well, because I could make those flashy videos, but it will do my head in, all the editing involved, all the cuts, but people have a problem. Most people, including myself, but mostly younger guys and teenagers and kids, have a problem with, children have a problem with, what's it called? When you can't sustain, what was it called? I can't think of the word. When they can't watch something for a long time. You guys know what the word is anyway. No, not frustration tolerance. That's something else. But they can't stay interested in something unless there's so many cuts. They don't have, oh, right, the attention span. You know, we're suffering all from really short attention spans. So a lot of these videos that you see are probably, lots of them are AI, these AI cartoons where, you know, everything is really fast and perfect, and, you know, a lot of bright lights, nice colors, flashy, you know, to keep you continuously entertained, interested, you know. So, don't shout, please. Sorry, that's my son. So as you can see, this video, I'm not going to edit it. This is what's happening in my life. My son has to go upstairs to sleep. His mum just called him. And these kind of long form videos without any take, just one take and no cuts, it kind of helps you to get away from those videos, you know, and it kind of trains you to reverse the problem with attention span, because if you're so used to watching videos of people, you know, really exciting people, really beautiful people, really a video with lots of cuts, lots of things happening, you're constantly searching for perfection, something beautiful, something quick, something exciting, you know. And then when you see ordinary life, the mundane world, it's boring. You know, you don't have all those dopamine hits. So if you watch a video like mine, where I'm just talking, it's kind of maybe like, almost like ASMR, you know, something that really relaxes you and you feel like sleeping. But this is actually how people speak. Well, the way I speak. And if we went back to the 1970s or the 1980s, most of us would have that vacant look, because everything was slower then, and people just used to talk normally. Or, yes, I mean, it all started with TV, didn't it? You always have those cuts and you know, that canned laughter, and then people saying everything in I always used to wonder. I used to think, do people talk that way? Wow, people are so perfect. You know, they say all these words, they don't make any mistakes. And, you know, they have a joke, a punchline. They're so perfect. I didn't realize that they were bloody acting and they make so many mistakes. Whereas real life is, you know, dogs moaning there, son shouting at his mum, replying to his mum, me getting tired, making mistakes, not thinking of something, and there are no cuts. This is real life. This is what people sound like. You know, some may be more eloquent, less eloquent. Some may talk faster or slower. Some may be more boring. Some may be more interesting. But roughly, this is what, you know, this is what having a conversation is like. Well, a one-sided conversation, because obviously you're probably shouting at me, you're saying something, but telling me to shut up. Shut up, I want to talk now. But yeah, so I think it's good listening to videos like this where there are no cuts. So it's kind of relaxing, you know. And it shouldn't be really relaxing. It should be, this is normal talking. But because we're so used to that push button, lots of cuts kind of video, then when you see a video like this, you either get bored and click off because your brain is so used to, like, and it has a low frustration tolerance. You get frustrated if a person talks and stays. You see the same scene for like 5 or 10 seconds. That's it. Well, it hasn't changed. There's been no cuts, no transitions. Oh my, you know. I think that's bad because it sets you up for those dopamine hits all the time. And then in real life, you don't get those. The dopamine hits that you would have got don't compare. And I think this is the way, I think in the past I did watch a video, like either the CEO or some person high up in a Facebook or YouTube, anyway, in some social media company, said it was all, when they created the social media, it was done on purpose to get you hooked. So every time you post something and someone gets, likes it, dong, the dopamine or some center in your brain is activated. The bad thing is when you get dislikes. And the thing, what's happened is YouTube have fixed that. So you only get likes. You don't see any dislikes. But obviously negative comments you can get, but you can hide those negative comments because they realize how bad it is to have a negative comment. You see, it's not really bad to get a negative comment, but it is, because we tend to, I think they know what they're doing, and I think it's dangerous when you get so many positive comments, because then you think you become addicted to it, and you think that's the norm until you get one bad comment saying, I disagree with you, I think you're ugly or whatever, or somebody who's a troll that's hates you or whatever, and by our very nature we seek the negative, and the negative hurts as well. We're always seeking the danger, because that danger is the thing that can kill you. So I think, when we used to live like thousands of years ago, or millions of years ago, whatever, when we evolved, we quickly understood that to be rejected from the group would mean certain death. If you're kicked out of the tribe or whatever. So if you're ostracized, kicked out of the tribe, kicked out of the village, you die. And I think this is why, a negative comment is much more powerful than 10 or 20, what are you guys doing? Those are my dogs. 10 or 20 positive comments. I can't move it. So, as I've said this example before, so if you're a person, you go to the supermarket and you might get 10 or 20 comments in a week. A man will say, or a lady will say, oh, you got lovely hair, you look really great today, and that makes you feel so good. All it takes is one comment, someone to say, well, actually, sorry love, I have to tell you, you're ugly or you're fat. And that one comment beats all of those comments, because it feels like death, because you're ostracized, you're rejected from the group, going back in time. So we have that inside us to focus on the negative, because the negative is what's going to get you killed, but the positive isn't. So when you're walking, in the jungle or whatever, and you see a beautiful flower, oh no, nice beautiful flower. You see a nice green frog, oh, it's nice, but you're not really bothered about that. All you're bothered about is some strange eyes in the bush, and that could be a predator. And quickly your eyes are going to look at that and focus on that, because that is the danger. So we don't live in a forest. Well, some people would disagree, but our forest or our everyday life, when someone says, you look fat, you look ugly or whatever, that's the two red eyes in the bush, the predator. It's the same thing. It means death for us. Whereas, oh, you look really nice, as the flower. Oh yeah, I like your hair today. That's the frog. We bypass these things because, okay, that they're nice. It makes us feel good. But our instinct for survival will focus on that. You're fat, you're ugly. Those two eyes in the bush. That's why people get triggered And that's why people get cancelled when they go too far, you know. When people say, well, it's my freedom of speech. Yeah, you have freedom of speech, but, you know, you have to think that you might offend someone, you know. And I do believe in freedom of speech, but not freedom to insult someone, or, you know, if someone is already fragile mentally and continuing to bully them, continuing to say things about them. Say a person is like, the S word has tried to self-delete, and you still go on and on and on. It's still freedom of speech. You can say what you want to that person, but you're driving that person over the edge. You know? I know it's an extreme example, but it's an example where it's freedom of speech. You know, would you rather have freedom of speech and the person top themselves? Well, if he couldn't handle it, that's his problem. No, it's not. You made him go over the edge. I'm not talking about myself. Well, I am, but with other people as well. You know, there was a story, and I'm not talking about, you know, you might be thinking I'm talking about, you know, the left and the right, and people who are woke, you know, usually complain about and things, and you know, they end up cancelling people on the right. No, it's not even left or right. I can give the example the other way around, actually. There was a Romanian soccer official, and a team from Turkey were playing another team in Europe. And the officials, usually if the referee is from one country, all the rest are from the same country, right? The linesmen and everything. So there was, obviously they speak in their own language. And there was the management team of one, was it Turkey? No, it was a Turkish team, but is it Galatasaray or another team? He was shouting. It was a black guy. He was part of the coaching staff. And he was shouting and shouting, and he was abusing, I think, the official. He said something. And so he gave him the red card. He gave a person the red card, but they didn't know who he gave the red card to. So I think he was the only black guy. And so he said to the referee, I think said to the official, he said, the black guy there. Because obviously he has to distinguish which one, and he's the only black guy, right? And so in Romanian, it's like negros or nero or something like that. So the black guy, he thought he said the N-word, right? And he was explaining, no, I'm speaking in my language. I'm saying the black man, the negro or something like that. That's how you say it, right? So after the match, there was a lot of media attention, and they bullied this guy. And the media knew that this person was already fragile because he attempted at the S word, self-deletion, a few years ago, before. And he explained, no, I just said in my language, the black man, the coach, because he didn't know his name or anything. So, like, there was a lot of media attention at the time. And even though they knew he was fragile, they still, like, there were people that hacked his account and bullied him. And some people, what was it? They threatened him, his life and everything. Afterwards, the story died down. And actually, I think what happened was they abused him. They said something, if I'm not mistaken, they said something like really racist, like gypsies or something like that. But the media never said anything about that. They never bullied those black. There was a black guy. There was the coach and a player. They both of them went, bullied this guy. Stood up to him, almost about to hit him, but the other players came around. And the fact that they called the Romanians a racial slur, something to do with gypsies, wasn't mentioned. But the fact that he did not make a mistake. He did say negro, like the black guy. But, because of the Western media, they're so worried about the N word, and then everything simmered down. But, nothing was said about those two black guys. And they called him like a racial slur. Forget about that. Like he was about to be banned. They said they were going to ban him for 8 years or something like that. But no mention of banning the manager and the black player for their abuse of the officials. It's amazing. But what I'm saying is the media knew that he was already fragile. They knew the reports and they still went for him. That's really evil, really evil. And that's what happens, when it comes to politics, people become really evil. The right and the left, I would say more so the left, but the right can do it as well. They will kick a person or kick a man or woman when they're down because they see them as the enemy. And that's not right. I wouldn't do that. I'm partly right wing. I'm kind of in the middle, actually. No, I'm out of the dome. I don't care about right or left wing. I don't see like a lefty or whatever as an enemy. If I see him or her on the floor, I wouldn't kick them while they're down. That is a human being. That is a son or a daughter of, a son or a daughter, or one day will be a parent maybe. They just have weird ideas, but that's still a human being, Anyway, so what's my point? My point is, I don't know what my point is, but so going back to my videos, I'm making these videos. I hope we can pick up this. I don't know. And how many minutes? 27 minutes. Oh, that's a long video. So I'm a bit fragile at the moment, but I seem to be hanging on. I've got some things on my mind, and I think thinking about my friend helps me take it. Some people say it's adding more and more stress on me. In a way it is, but sometimes thinking about yourself too much is I don't know, you can see it both ways. I just don't know. But anyway, I'm making these videos at the moment with the toys, and it's funny. But I believe that, as an adult, you can play with toys. There's no problem, especially if you don't have to be really bonkers, do you? I think normal people are bonkers because they have to always we have to always, well, I haven't, but I assume we have to always show a certain part of ourselves, the cool part, the normal part of ourselves. We can't ever show a crazy part. When I say crazy, I just mean playing with toys or making silly noises, We always have to be normal. We can't be anything different, And we have to justify our existence. Some people say, I don't give a shit, but they do. We all give a shit. We wouldn't be human if we didn't give a shit. We all care about others. At the moment, what is... Betty, can you get out of there? Just get out of there. Right, so anyway. So hopefully this video will come out well. I don't know if this audio will be any good. So some people said they want me to do some whispering videos, whispering ASMR. I'll do that next. If this works, I can just sit down here and start to whisper. If you guys have never heard the whispering ASMR videos, people are gonna think, what the hell is this? I thought he was bonkers with the toys. Now he's totally lost it. So, just look up ASMR. So it's ASMR. And you see usually it's women whispering, speaking like this. And talking about what they did in their day. It feels so weird doing it, but it's really, I find it nice just listening to, usually it's a woman whisper, and it just sounds so nice and it's relaxing. It tingles a part of your brain. That's ASMR. So yeah, look it up before I do the video. Otherwise you're going to think this guy is bonkers. You might like it, you might hate it. It's a bit like a Marmite, coriander, cilantro. You either love it or hate it. Okay, so I'll speak to you guys in another video, and hopefully you like this video. Hopefully the audio was okay. Let me know if it isn't. I don't know what to do if it isn't, because I've plugged it in. I've tried to set it up, and it should be okay. All right, guys, take care. See you in the next video.